Hey, welcome back to YT Finance, and this is the channel where I went to business school so you didn't need to, and today we are talking about SoFi Technologies and Palantir Technologies. In this video, we will be analyzing three articles, to where the first one is titled, SoFi Stock Sell-Off, Big Investors Jump Ship, Should You? So after we go over the latest news updates and talk about why major institutions or billionaires are selling SoFi Technologies, and of course after I add my opinion, we will be moving on to our next article, which is titled, Where will SoFi stock be in 5 years? Because I'm noticing that a lot of people have inaccurate price targets for this company over the next 5 years, and we need to add some realism to this, but overall, I am still very bullish on SoFi Technologies. Lastly, we will talk about Palantir Technologies pertaining to their PLTR stock in regards to why it is increasing in price today, and why Palantir is betting big on Rubicon, which is a stock that Palantir personally owns. So we'll discuss how this is actually beneficial for Palantir as a company, and how the future growth trajectory of both SoFi Technologies and Palantir Technologies looks phenomenal. So for more videos just like this one on SoFi stock or Palantir, remember to comment down below which of these companies you want me to report on more of, subscribe if you are new, smash that like button for more videos just like this one, don't forget to become a member of this channel for as little as 99 cents by clicking or tapping on that join button right next to the subscribe button to support me personally, because that's what keeps me here on YouTube. And without further ado, I say let's jump right into today's stories. SoFi Technologies essentially operates as a digital bank. They are what's known as a fintech company or a financial technology company. Currently, SoFi stock has been performing very well lately, to where now it's worth around $9.56. Now, some analysts believe this company is overvalued, and they believe it's going to fall down to around $3, while other analysts believe it could continuously surge up until $14 over the next 12 months. But in this video, we're going to be discussing why some large investors are selling SoFi stock. For instance, some of these large investors, institutions, or billionaires would include Virginia Retirement Systems, which recently sold around 29,300 shares of SoFi Technologies. We have George Soros's fund, which sold 1.25 million shares, and we also have the investment bank Jefferies, ticker symbol JEF, which recently sold around 91,644 shares. On top of that, we also saw Ken Griffin, who is another billionaire, which sold 13.9 million shares, and Stephen Cohen's hedge fund named Pont72, which sold 3.9 million shares. Now, although this may sound like bad news, honestly, I think these institutions and billionaires are just taking profits. If you look at the overall stock chart for this company, it has been on an absolute tear, uptrending very aggressively, which means that a heavier pullback is coming for this overall stock, meaning that these intelligent investors are practicing proper risk management by liquidating and taking profits. Clearly, they are not selling their entire position, because I think that would be foolish, but they are taking some profits off of the table due to this massive surge in the overall share price, which is honestly the right thing to do for these larger institutions and billionaires. Now, what this doesn't mean is that they anticipate that SoFi Technology will crash all the way down to $3 like some analysts believe, and it also doesn't mean that these investors or institutions don't believe in the long-term trajectory of the overall company. If you've watched previous videos, I actually already took some profits off of the table regarding SoFi Technologies, but I still have a decent holding at around 3%. Because when I took profits, I only liquidated 1% of my overall allocation to this company, while I continue to hold 3%. So clearly, I am still holding the majority of my overall shares, just like these institutions and investors are doing. So if somebody's trying to say that this is bad news for SoFi Technologies, honestly, I don't think so. This is going to be normal for essentially any stock that is appreciated as much as SoFi has over the past 6 months or so. And what's even greater is that we have future catalysts coming up for SoFi Technologies. For instance, SoFi has been upgraded to a B rating, which is very good for a stock like SoFi Technologies to be rated so highly. On top of that, SoFi Technologies has demonstrated outstanding revenue growth and member acquisition, so the future of this company looks very bright. On top of that, as you already know, the US Department of Education announced that the first required federal student loan repayments will be due and start to begin in October, which is going to further SoFi's overall student loan refinancing business, thus giving them more revenue and better exposure, because the demand for student loan refinancing is going to open back up, thus leading to more revenue revenues and hopefully better financials for SoFi. I also want to point out that although SoFi has a B rating, that actually might get turned to an A rating later this year, especially as they start to become profitable at the end of the year according to current metrics. So right now, I would say that it would be great to still maintain a small position in SoFi Technologies around a 5% allocation or lower, so you practice proper risk management, and while the company is increasing in their overall share price, don't be afraid to take some profits off of the table and then wait for the company's share price to pull back a little bit so you can reinvest those profits at an even cheaper price point. But overall, I'm still very bullish on SoFi Technologies over the long term, and I don't think investors need to be scared about these large institutions or even billionaires selling, because again, they did not liquidate their entire positions. If something was wrong with the company, they would have liquidated essentially their entire position, but that's not what we're seeing here. They are only taking profits off of the table, which means they are practicing proper risk management, and they could be anticipating a pullback like I am personally, but overall, this is nothing to worry about. Now let's talk about where the company could be over the next 5 years, because I see some people throwing out some very aggressive price targets of like $100 for this company over the next 5 years, and let me tell you, that is just not in the cards for this company. Please don't overhype this company. It's already a phenomenal company, but don't overhype it and lead people astray through unrealistic expectations. There is literally no way SoFi is going to reach $100 per share over the next 5 years. The amount that they would have to grow and their market cap would be so ridiculously high that it's literally not feasible for this company to do. Instead, we should follow the company according to their overall projections and growth metrics, which is why this author believes that SoFi, after a pullback, is going to run up even higher, and I completely agree that they are going to increase in their overall share price once the company pulls back slightly. And this could kick off after their second quarter results. For instance, after their quarter one results, the company really started to appreciate in their overall share price. And according to SoFi's management, their guidance is very bullish. They even raised their overall guidance for the full year. For instance, their annual revenue is expected to be around $2 billion, representing a 30% CAGR, or at least a 30% growth rate compared to last year, while their adjusted EBITDA is expected to be $278 million at the midpoint, or 94% higher than it was last year. These are very good growth metrics that should invigorate investors to buy more of this stock. But that's for the entire year. What about for the upcoming second quarter earnings report? Well, for that, management anticipates their adjusted net revenue to increase between 32 and 35%, while their adjusted EBITDA is going to total between $60 to $70 million, representing a 225% higher increase than last year. This communicates to us that this company is growing at a very impressive clip, and as they continuously acquire new customers, their overall revenues will go even higher. So like I said earlier, this company is still a phenomenal company to hold in your overall portfolio, but please do not overhype this company. Do not overstate what this company can actually achieve, because you're leading investors who are impressionable astray. Just stick with the current projections, what analysts are estimating, and then go from there. So from this knowledge, the only thing that we could do is anticipate that SoFi will be worth substantially more 5 years from now than it is today, especially as they continue to produce more products, services, and acquire more customers. Especially if we consider that the housing market will cool off by then, which should increase the amount of mortgages and refinances that SoFi can actually do for the general public. On top of that, after this year, they're anticipated to become profitable, which should increase their share price yet again. Now, there is something that I want to bring to your attention. SoFi currently trades at a price to sales ratio of around 5. Ideally, we would want this lower at around a 3 or 4, because that indicates that we are getting this stock at a cheaper price point than what it's trading at currently. I also want to point out that their price to book value is 1.7. Now, some people think that's rather high for a bank, and I would agree, yes, that is high for a banking institution. For instance, Ally Bank currently trades at around 0.8 regarding their price to book value, and that's what SoFi honestly should be trading at. But some people say because SoFi is a fintech company and not a traditional bank, that they get to have a higher price to book value. However, ideally, I would want this closer to 1 instead of 1.7, and I know that doesn't sound like a lot, but trust me, it really is. But even with that being said, I wouldn't mind buying this growth company at a premium now and watch it grow into its overall valuation once it becomes profitable and once it really starts to scale in the future, such as from 5 years from now. That's why I am a long-term investor and a believer in SoFi Technologies regarding the future of this overall company. But please remember not to overexpose yourself more than a 5% initial portfolio allocation, because that would be improper risk management. Don't go all in on singular risky growth companies, and remember to take profits when the company is surging like it is right now. However, everyone is different and you all have your own investing strategies and your risk tolerance, so do what you think is best. Now let's round out the video talking about Palantir Technologies, ticker symbol PLTR, which is a big data and analytics company that serves both commercial agencies as well as government clients. Palantir's PLTR stock is actually surging right now to where it's worth around $17.42. Very bullish analysts believe this company could easily reach $18 by the end of the year, while other analysts believe the company is going to crash down to around $5. But the reason Palantir is actually in the news today is because not only is the share price of the PLTR stock increasing, but they also acquired 6 million more shares of Rubicon Technologies, ticker symbol RBT. This would bring Palantir's overall allocation to this company to 6.2%. So while Palantir creates and markets data analysis tools, Rubicon operates a digital marketplace for waste and recycling services, and Rubicon is also one of Palantir's customers. After Palantir acquired another 5.69 million shares, or approximately 6 million shares of RBT stock since March 31st, Palantir now owns a total of 14.63 million shares of Rubicon. However, I do want to point out the reason for this, and it's not because necessarily Palantir thinks this company is a good investment, but rather it's a strategic move. And here's what I mean by that. Due to Palantir's Foundry for Builders, Palantir has invested into around 20 startup companies, including Rubicon. And in return for Palantir signing contracts with these smaller companies, Palantir then gets ownership of them, and these smaller companies have to sign a contract that is a long-standing contract to use Palantir's Foundry platform, which means that if any of these smaller 20 startup companies become a massive company, then Palantir is already wedged into that company to where they will be paying millions of dollars to Palantir. So honestly, I think this is a great strategic move. However, Palantir is not making a traditional investment into these companies such as Rubicon Technologies. Palantir is betting on the future of this company, and that's why the majority of Palantir's overall investments in these startups are down around 80%. For instance, according to the Wall Street Journal, they note that their investment is down more than 80% on average for these companies. But again, these are not traditional investments. Palantir is waiting over the long term if these companies end up becoming a mega cap company that Palantir will already have existing relations with them. However, from a networking standpoint, I think this could be extremely strategic, and overall, I would actually say that this is good news, especially if any of the companies in which Palantir has in their Foundry for Builders program, if any of these companies do good, including Rubicon or BigBear.ai or other types of companies, if they do good, then clearly that's going to reflect positively on Palantir because Palantir owns some of these companies. In essence, Palantir is still a phenomenal company to buy. I do think they are trading at a premium right now, but due to artificial intelligence being a super hot topic in the market, we could see Palantir Technologies continue to trend upwards. So with that being said, I would love to hear your thoughts down below about Palantir Technology stock as well as SoFi Technology stock. Remember to go and smash that like button for more videos just like this one. Subscribe if you are new. Don't forget to become a member of this channel to support me personally. And with that being said, I will see you in the next YT video.